Hello and welcome back to Football Daily. With the summer just around the corner, we've decided to profile the most ridiculous rumours currently doing the rounds. 10. James Rodriguez to Wolves. Jorge Mendes' impact on Wolves should not be underestimated. The club is owned by Chinese investment group Fosun, who are currently worth an estimated £4.8 billion. Their owner Guo Guangchan has ties in Mendes' holding company Gestifute, with the super agent in turn having Nuno Espirito Santo and 9 of their regular starters on his books. The only consistent players not on his payroll are Matt Doherty and Connor Cody, and it's this level of influence that has seen another one of Mendes' clients, 27-year-old James Rodriguez, linked with a surprise move to Wolves. The 69-capped playmaker would be an awesome signing for the Wanderers. Not only does he have a ton of experience, having won 2 Champions Leagues and a league title in 5 of the last 7 years, but the undoubted quality of someone who has contributed 15 goals and 17 assists in 60 league and Champions League appearances over the last 2. With Zidane supposedly planning for the future without him, this deal could be on the cards. But make no mistake, if Wolves were to pull off this shock signing, it would instantly become one of the transfers of the decade. 9. Shkodran Mustafi to AC Milan. It takes a pretty stupid club to look at Mustafi's shambolic performances this season, in which he has been a regular starter in a defence that has conceded 29 more goals than Liverpool, and want to bring him to their club. But AC Milan, now run by former Arsenal chief exec Ivan Gazidis, have garnered a reputation, perhaps unfairly, for routinely making poorly thought out transfers. And Calcio Mercato are reporting that the Rossoneri are keen to recruit the 20-capped German. With the future of 32-year-old Christian Zapata uncertain and Mattia Caldara sidelined with a cruciate ligament injury, it's clear that Milan need to sign some defensive reinforcements. But why anyone would choose to sign the World Cup winner after the season he has had is completely beyond us. Yes, Mustafi has 3 years of Serie A experience under his belt with Sampdoria, and arguably still has his best years ahead of him. But surely there are better, less error-prone options for Milan to pack down alongside Romagnoli next season. Well, we certainly think so. 8. Toby Alderweireld to Arsenal. Big thanks to John Widding Overson on Twitter for bringing the next one to the table. And remember, if you want to get involved in the conversation and shape our content, you need to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell to never miss a video. Toby Alderweireld's £25 million release clause is probably the worst kept secret in football, but one thing that has had us surprised is the rumours swirling about him joining their arch-rivals Arsenal. The Daily Mirror and the Daily Star, admittedly not the most reliable sources, are claiming that the 90-capped Belgian, who has spent the last 4 seasons with the Lily-Whites, is going to become the 2019 Sol Campbell. Yes, Alderweireld has had issues at Spurs, not least last season when he fell out with Pochettino, and yes, Arsenal clearly need defensive recruits. But surely the 30-year-old wouldn't become just the 4th player and the first since Campbell to leave Spurs for Arsenal. Let us know your thoughts down below. 7. José Mourinho to Celtic. Okay, so we've slightly cheated here, but there is no way we could talk about outrageous transfers without mentioning the one linking Mourinho to Celtic. The Twitter sphere went into meltdown when talk of the Portuguese coach being appointed as the next Hoops manager first appeared, with numerous jokes about the 2-time Champions League winner stalking the touchline at the Tony Macaroni Stadium next year. And to be fair, it is pretty laughable. With the former Chelsea, Inter, Real Madrid and Man United manager, who has won 19 major trophies, really commit to managing the likes of Christian Gamboa and Ryan Christie, when there is potential for the Roma, Juve and Inter Milan jobs to be up for grabs in the next 3 months. Jose may well have to take a step down after his car crash start to the season at Man United left the club closer to the relegation zone than the top 4 when he was sacked, but surely Celtic is beneath him. We certainly think so, even if Hamill doesn't. 6. Franck Ribéry to Western Sydney Wanderers. Franck Ribéry has been quite simply an outstanding servant for Bayern Munich. Signed for a then club record €25 million from Marseille in June 2007, the 81-capped winger has gone on to make 424 appearances for the club, leaving him 13th on their all-time list. His trophy cabinet is remarkable: 1 Champions League, 5 DFB Pokals and 9 Bundesliga titles in 12 years at the club, making him the most successful player in Bundesliga history. The 36-year-old announced at the start of May that this would be his final campaign in Bavaria, And when asked about the possibility of joining German coach and former Bayern Munich player Marcus Babbel in Australia at Western Sydney Wanderers, the Frenchman said, "Why not? Why should I not move to colleague Babbel? I do not know. There are many options." It seems unlikely that Ribéry will follow the likes of Dwight Yorke, Del Piero and Robbie Fowler in playing out the twilight of his career in Australia, but stranger things have happened. 5. Donny van der Beek to Real Madrid. There is no doubting that 22-year-old central midfielder Donny van der Beek has had an exceptional season. His 12 goals and 12 assists in 46 League and Champions League games for Ajax's double-winning side certainly shouldn't be sniffed at. But this is just Van der Beek's second year of regular senior football, having only made 42 appearances for the club prior to the start of last season, making rumours linking him with a move to Real Madrid seem a little premature. Marca believes Zinedine Zidane has earmarked Van der Beek as his ideal backup if they fail to land his first-choice target of Paul Pogba this summer. The Frenchman was publicly criticised by disgruntled United fans after their final day humiliation at the hands of Cardiff, potentially edging him towards the Old Trafford exit. But with his agent Mino Raiola banned from football activity this summer, it's certainly not clear-cut. But we aren't sure Van der Beek is Real Madrid ready just yet. He ranks 6th for shots, 5th for key passes and 9th for completed take-ons per 90 in the Ajax squad, leaving it unclear whether he'd be a step up on the likes of Isco and Asensio just yet. We suggest he continues his development in Amsterdam before potentially moving next summer. 4. Kieran Trippier to Napoli. Unlike Donny van der Beek, Kieran Trippier has been far from his best this season. In 2017-18, he provided 8 assists in 27 appearances before shining at the World Cup, with no player topping his 24 chances created. But this year, a seemingly jaded Trippier hasn't put in nearly the same level of performance, with his completed dribbles halved and his times dispossessed per 90 doubled. The nadir of his poor season came in the second leg of Spurs' Champions League semi-final against Ajax, where his 2 errors left his teammates with a mountain to climb. But despite this downturn in form, Calcio Mercato are claiming that Napoli, yes Napoli, are considering signing the 28-year-old. Their 3-time Champions League winning manager Carlo Ancelotti has admitted as much, saying, "Hirving Lozano and Trippier are players who we are evaluating." Meanwhile, Sky Sports Italia are claiming that Trippier's wife Charlotte has already been to Naples to scout out potential schools. By all accounts, this has been a disappointing season for Napoli. Even if they win their remaining game, they will still finish with 9 fewer points than last year. And with 25-year-old Hisak and 27-year-old Malqui already on their books, perhaps they should prioritise a long-term replacement for 32-year-old Dries Mertens, who still contributed 24 league goals this term, rather than unnecessary right-back depth. 3. Ayoze Pérez to Arsenal. 25-year-old Newcastle forward Ayoze Pérez is a perfectly competent player. Since signing for €3 million from Tenerife in June 2014, he's scored 42 goals and provided 15 assists in 174 league appearances. But considering 36 of those games took place in the Championship, his average of a goal contribution every 0.3 games is far from remarkable for a top-flight striker. However, having said that, the former Spain under-21 international seems to be improving, with his 12 Premier League goals last campaign, the same as Son, Firmino and Lukaku, representing his best ever return. But even so, rumours reported by The Express linking him with a move to either Arsenal or Inter Milan seem totally delusional. The Gunners have 2 of the best strikers in the league on their books in Lacazette and Aubameyang, who between them scored 35 league goals, and even if they were to lose one of them this summer, they would each cost upwards of £50 million. Would Arsenal really replace either Lacazette, who averages 0.2 more expected goals per 90, or Aubameyang, who averages 0.5 more, with Perez, who has only hit double figures once in 5 years in England? As for Inter Milan, even the notoriously foolish Nerazzurri wouldn't think of replacing Icardi, who has scored 101 goals in his last 164 Serie A games, with Ayoze Pérez. Come off it. 2. Romelu Lukaku to Juventus. With Max Allegri announcing he will be leaving Juventus this summer after 5 Scudetti, 4 Coppas Italia and 2 Champions League finals in 5 years, it seems that it will be a summer of upheaval in Turin. Despite the disappointment of their Champions League quarter-final exit at the hands of Ajax, Juve's season has been far from a disaster. One thing that won't calm any potentially panicked old lady fans, though, are the rumours linking them with Man United's Romelu Lukaku. According to the Daily Telegraph, the 79-capped Belgian, who has scored 28 league goals for United across 2 seasons, will be part of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's mass clear-out this summer. And if Antonio Conte, who is currently the bookies' favourite for the job, does take over, it could be on the cards, as Lukaku supposedly rejected his Chelsea for United in 2017. But with Ronaldo, Mandzukic, Cuadrado, Matuidi, Khedira, Bonucci and Chiellini all the wrong side of 30, the Bianconeri have much more pressing issues to contend with than signing a chronically out-of-form striker. 1. Alberto Moreno to Barcelona. Of all the transfer rumours on this list, Alberto Moreno to Barcelona has to be the most ridiculous. Yes, Jordi Alba is now 30, and after another underrated season in which he scored 3 and assisted 13 in 46 League and Champions League games, the Blaugrana should think about his long-term replacement. This is an even more pressing issue when you consider their only left-back cover are centre-halves Samuel Umtiti and Thomas Vermaelen, 2 players who might be on their way out. But why Moreno? After making 54 Premier League starts over his first 2 seasons, the former Sevilla man has made just 18 over the following 3. This year, the 26-year-old played just 5 games, only 2 of which came in the Premier League, despite suffering no discernible injuries. It must have been embarrassing for a player with 4 Spain caps to watch as only 2 players, Oxlade-Chamberlain, who only returned from a cruciate ligament injury in April, and 18-year-old Rafael Camacho, play fewer minutes in the entire Red squad. Yes, Moreno will be available on a free, but surely there are more talented and less error-prone players available. And if not, they already have 20-year-old Marc Cucurella on their books, who has had an exceptional season on loan at Eibar, playing as a left winger despite normally being a left back. So I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button down there right now. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well for more great content. See you next time.